Welcome to this new how-to. In this how-to we're looking at some, between brackets, hidden features in the Working Title CJ4. If you looked one of my previous videos you might already have seen them, but for those who did not have the time yet for looking at them, I made a short video about these hidden features. So where are these hidden features? Well, those hidden features are in this panel. And this panel contains some cool things, right? One of them is the checklist option. When you select the option, it will display the checklist here. And checklist, is a much, I would say, larger one as the one which is by default shown here in the checklists from Flight Simulator itself. So how can you control the checklist? Well, you can control the checklist by using this button. So for example, let me zoom out a bit. I want to select the normal checklist, and then we can go, in this case we're ready for takeoff. So we're gonna select this one, and then it contains all options which you can, or which you need to check prior to taking off, right? So checking the ice protection, rudder bias system, the seats, the flaps, speed brakes, etc. So to do that, or to check those items, the I would say more difficult way is that you need to select them manually. There's no way to automatically or point you in the right direction, just like the checklist from Flight Simulator itself. And once you completed an item, you can press the button again, right? So you can press the button here, and then it will mark it as green, as you can see. So let me zoom in a bit further. So once you've done that, right, it will continue to the next page, because in this case there are 3 pages. So let me mark all of them as complete. And then at last step you can mark the checklist complete, and then it will bring you to the next checklist. So this is kind of a cool feature, right? It's just below the checklist button, so it's easy to use. The other one, which is the Passbrief, and the Passbrief stands for passenger brief, and it contains some audio prompts which you can, I would say, play while, for example, taxiing, or while landing, or if there's turbulence while doing the flight. You can play the audio prompts. So let me display the one for takeoff short.
May I have your attention, please? We will be taking off shortly. Please turn off all portable electronic devices, stow tables, secure luggage, and loose articles. Ensure your seat is in the upright and outboard position. Extend your headrest and fasten your lap belt and shoulder harness. Thank you.
And there are several other ones, right? So you give some time to it and use them during the flight. It gives a little bit more realistic, I would say, experience for Flight Simulator. So what are the other, I would say, hidden features? The other hidden feature is the System 1, which is being displayed here. And there's System 1 and there's System 2. And displays simply the electric information and the pressure and the fuel in the airplane. So pretty handy. So if you go to the next page, you press the system again, and then it will show you the trim, the rudder, and the elevation. The zoom in and out is, I think it's not working because I tested it several times, but I couldn't get it working. What's the other nice option? The other nice option is here the buttons to, I would say, manipulate what you see here. So for example, if I want to see the terrain or the weather, I can use this button, right? So I can say, okay, hey, I want to see the default one, which is black. Then I want to see the terrain. You can see the terrain, and you can also switch it on to see the weather. So also nice options which are built in and you might not have discovered. Toggle the TCAS traffic display. Unfortunately there's not a lot of traffic, so you won't see anything here, but it should show the traffic normally. The engine information, and that will change the upper part of the display. So let me press it again. So here you can see the engine information through the N1, the ITT, right, the temperature, which is due to the exhaust of the engine. So don't, I would say, exhaust your engines too much, because then they will overheat and you will get all kind of alarms. the N2, the oil pressure and the oil temperature and the fuel in the airplane, and on the right side the trim, the rudder and the elevation, and of course the flaps, which are currently set to 15 degrees. What are some other options? You've got the nav data and database, but they are not working yet. Maybe they will start working in say next version. Same is for the chart and the display cache messages. It's working, but to be honest, I'm not so sure what it exactly is, so that's something to figure out, and once I know, I will let you know. Then you've got the upper menu, which is for the upper part of the display, right? You can simply enable the same options as you could do with the buttons here, and that can be done by scrolling and, for example, checklist. That will show you the checklist, right? So you can either do it via the menu or by the buttons shown here. And then we've got the lower menu, which is displayed for the bottom part of the display. And this will give you several things, right? You can change the format of the display. For example, I want to see the plan. That will display it like this. And you can change the controls. And if you go down, come on. Don't think you can control them yet. Might also be a bug, I'm not sure. Oh, here it is. Probably only works in certain scenarios. So one of them is the map source, which is currently set to FMS1, right? You might want to change it. The map symbols, so you can enable which symbols you want to see on the map. So for example, I want to see the airways, and I want to see the nav aids, and I want to see everything, right? Airports, and I want to see the intersection, and then it will start displaying those on the display, right? So a handy option to use. And if you want to go back, then simply press the lower menu button and it will bring you back to the previous menu. Last but not least, come on. The system test, which allows you to do some testing, but as you can see, all of them are grayed out, so think that they're not enabled yet. Maybe that will happen in a newer version or a newer release. The overlays and TFR test are not enabled by default. It has always to do with the options which you can select here. So I also need to have a look at it. So is it the... No. This one also not. Then we need to go to the plan. Also not. So I expect that the GWX and the TCAS, once they are enabled, that the other options are also activated. So hopefully that will come in a newer version of Working Title CJ4, which is not officially released, as most of you know. Then we've got the memory buttons, and the memory buttons are some pre-programmed options which you can select to easily switch from, I would say, one display to the other one. In this case, zooming in and zooming out, right? You can see it also doesn't work in these views, so hopefully that will start to work in the in one of the next views. Same thing is for displaying it landscape or portrait, also doesn't work yet. So here ends this short tutorial, or short how-to I should say, about these magic buttons here. Some of them might be hidden gems for you because you did not discover them yet. If you already discovered them, well, good for you. If you did not discover them, well, then start using them because it's a great addition to the Working Title CJ4 add-on for the CJ4 airplane in Flight Simulator 2020. As mentioned already, here ends this video. If you like this video, then consider to use the like button. If you've got questions or comments, then use them, or use the fields below the video. And if you'd like to see more of these videos or some other videos, then consider to subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching and see you next time.